morning. My name is Karla, and you have reached my FlossTube channel, KarlaBeingCrafty, where I talk about mostly cross stitch, but also other crafts and a little bit of life thrown in. Today is my FlossTube number 24, and it is December 15th, Sunday. If you're a regular viewer to this channel, you'll know that I actually missed filming last weekend. So I'm coming back after kind of like a week's hiatus, and I swear to God, it feels like it's the first time of doing a FlossTube. I really missed doing it last week. I missed all the feedback that I got from you guys. So last week was kind of dull because I didn't get all the messages that I normally get, and yeah, it was kind of sad. And then doing the video this morning, I feel like I'm doing it for the first time. So it's very weird. Just missing a week just threw everything off. But I'm back. I'm excited to be here. If this is the first time you're coming to my channel, then welcome. I really appreciate you stopping by. Hopefully you'll like it and want to subscribe. And if you are a returning viewer, then of course you know how much I appreciate all you guys. So I did miss last week because I was at a cheer competition weekend for my niece. I wore the cheer ant shirt that I made in her honor today, just to show you guys. If you remember when I showed them last, I'm going to be saying last week, but it was 2 weeks ago, there were more stars. All the stars fell off pretty much on this shirt, on the other shirt, but the letters stayed good. So that was nice, and I think that my niece appreciated me having them on. I mean, it was totally fun. It was like really wild. If you've never been to that kind of a competition, it was crazy. Thousands of little and big girls and a lot of glitter and a lot of noise, and but it was a lot of fun. And my niece is on 2 teams for the OC All-Stars, so yay. If you look them up on YouTube, the OC All-Stars, their black team, which is one of the senior, you know, the really high up teams, was featured on a show called Behind the Bow. So yeah, so that the whole school, I guess you'd call it, was very involved in that last year, and the higher up teams are championship teams. But my niece, who's almost 10, she'll be 10 in 2 weeks, she's on a younger team, obviously. She's on actually 2. She's on a team, Youth White, which is a younger team but a higher level of skill. And then she's on a little bit of an older team, Junior Yellow. Both teams got accolades for the weekend. The Junior Yellow team, I believe, got 2nd place. The Youth White team got 1st place championship in their division. So they got cool little jackets, and she got 2 medals, and it was a really good weekend, and she had a great time. So I was really glad to be able to be a part of it. I'm gonna move my camera just a teeny bit, you guys, because it's off center and it's bugging me. Okay, and that did nothing, but oh well. I'm afraid if I do more, then I'm gonna throw everything off. So yeah, so that was last weekend. That's why I wasn't here. I wasn't intending to do a video like when I got home one Sunday evening, but I got home probably around 6 o'clock, and I have to tell you, I was exhausted. Like, I lay on the couch, and I just, like, I was there like, you know, like a starfish. I just was dead. And in fact, I almost, like, I didn't even eat dinner. I ended up, like, putting some macaroni and cheese in the oven, like, at 8 o'clock because I was starting to get really hungry, but I just could barely move. I was so tired. I drove for my niece and my sister-in-law because she is still dealing with the Bell's palsy, and so she can drive, but she has to take off the patch that she has been wearing because her eye won't close, and driving at night and driving in the rain and all that stuff, she just was concerned. So I volunteered to drive, which was fine, except I was driving their car, so it was a little bit difficult for me just being in an unfamiliar vehicle, a very big vehicle that I'm not used to, and driving in the rain and driving in the dark. So that was a little challenging. That's part of probably why I was so tired when I got home, because I was very focused on driving. But I had planned on doing a video, but I was just so tired. And then as the week went by, I'm like, you know what, it's silly to put out a video, a FlossTube video on like a Wednesday. I do my extra videos or demos on during the middle of the week, but I figured it was silly to do a FlossTube when I would be doing another one this weekend. So that's why I missed. And then yesterday I went over to my brother and sister-in-law's again just to hang out, and I helped my niece tie-dye some t-shirts because we had talked about that over the weekend, that she wanted to get some tie-dyed t-shirts, and I'm like, I can help you with that. So, you know, I used my little jar method that I have put on this video, and didn't quite work as far as the jar because t-shirts were way bigger than a piece of cross-stitch fabric. So we ended up, as the vessel, I used, they had some, you know, plastic leftover containers. Do you know what I mean? The inexpensive ones that you get in bulk, and so we used a couple of those to hold the fabric. But I used the twisting method, and they turned out really, really good. Like, she was very impressed. So I'm glad I could do that for her. But anyway, that's enough for all the little tidbits going on in my life for now, and let's get on to the good stuff that you guys are all here for. So finishes is usually the first thing I show you. And I have a finish. I was debating about whether or not to show you guys this because I kind of wanted to wait until it was fully finished to show you, but I'm excited about it, so I'm going to go ahead and show you. This is my first original design. So I finished the stitching, and I'm going to be working on turning it into a little lavender walnut filled pillow today. And I think I'm going to film that because somebody had requested. I showed this little pillow that I made for my mom. My mom did the stitching, and then I did this pillow for her that she's giving as a gift for someone. And someone had asked me to show how I did it. It's full of walnut shells and lavender buds, and then I used this trim, and I'm going to basically do this exact same technique for this pillow, and I'm going to film that. So here's my original design, Tikkun Olam, and I know this is going to probably require some explanation. So Tikkun Olam is a concept, philosophy, if you will, in Judaism. Ancient Judaism, but in modern Judaism it has really been embraced. Tikkun Olam is the concept of repairing the world, doing whatever you can to repair the world, and that is kind of melded into like social justice and saving the planet and being green and all of these really good things. And it's something that you know, that when you are talking about in like Hebrew school and with Jewish youth, Tikkun Olam is a concept that we're taught to embrace and to work toward. And again, it's repairing the world. Originally, or if you're going to go into like the religious aspects of it, it has to do with, there's religious, you know, like it means observing Shabbat and going to temple and stuff like that. But in the more secular aspects, it's really being kind to people, charity, being green, as I said, you know, saving the planet. So that's what I did. And I really am proud of this pattern. I like it. I think it's cute. I did it on, this is hand-dyed fabric by me, and it's one of the pieces that I really, really liked. One of the hand dyes that I did that I just thought was really pretty. This is also 22 count Hardanger, which is the first time I've ever stitched on that. And so these are teeny stitches, and I just love it. It's the first time I stitched on something so small and with one strand instead of two strands. And I just love the way it looks. I love the way it came out. And as a pattern, and I will probably be talking about this in my next video because I'm not exactly sure how I want to do it yet. But I would like to give this pattern away as a freebie because I think it would be great if other people enjoyed it and wanted to do it and spread the word of Tikkun Olam. So that was my finish for these past 2 weeks, which I am very proud of. And as I said, I don't know exactly how to do giving it away as a free pattern, if I should just have people, you know, tell me that they want it and send me their mailing address, which I can do that. I do have it on Stitch Fiddle. That's the program that I decided to use, at least for now, and I can share it on Stitch Fiddle. So that might be the best way to do it, but then I will have no idea if anybody's actually getting it. And so I'm trying to debate on how to do it. I don't know how to like set up a PDF pattern and have people do a link to that. I don't know how to do that. So I guess there's going to be a learning factor involved here in doing patterns that whether I give them away or sell them, there's going to be a learning factor in how to get them out to people. But please let me know what you think. If you have any interest in this. If you want to tell me on this video that you would like it and, you know, can send me your address, I will be happy to send it out to you. I would love if people would spread the word. But I am proud of it. You know, it's my first one that I did. So anyway, that was my finish. And I do have a new start as well. I have another original design that I started this week that I am super excited about. But it's like secret stitching. I'm not going to show you until I'm done with it. It's another kind of concept piece. So it might be one of those things that some people are like, that is so cool. And other people are like, I don't get it. But you'll be able to see it next week because I'm sure I'm going to get it done. So let's go on to whips. I don't have a ton. I mean, I know it's been 2 weeks, but they were really busy weeks and I didn't get a ton of stuff done. I brought the Classic Poo with me last weekend. Again, because it's easy to work on filling in the balloon and it's going to take forever. And so I actually didn't work on it at all on the Sunday that I was there, but on Saturday while we were waiting. Okay, why can't I get this off? Okay, there we go. I was able to put in a full thread on the balloon. So not like super exciting stitching to see as of yet, but I did work on that while I was at the cheer weekend. Okay. Then I started my February year of celebrations. I did put up December. And I started February. Oh, I'm sorry if my lighting's not great today. And so I got that started. I actually had to rip out a little bit on this. Yeah, my counting sometimes is off. But, you know, when I'm working on it and I'm in the middle of it and I have to pull out some stitches, it doesn't feel like, you know, like the big frogging. I think if I get too far in a piece and find out that it's off, I would just adjust. Because when it's a huge amount, I don't want to pull it out. Okay, then I worked on this one that I'm going to do for my sister-in-law. I overly ambitiously thought that I could get this done before Hanukkah. That's ridiculous. It's not going to happen. So her birthday's in April. It's probably going to be done around that time. So as I said, now the pattern says this home, but I'm changing it to this mom. So I finished the H and the T and almost finished the M. And did some more on the red underneath. But this is also on a piece of fabric dyed by myself. This is a 18 count Aida. I'm finding that that I'm liking the slightly higher count Aidas. And as far as Evenweaves, they're okay, but when you get into the higher count of the Aida, they're still, like, I think one of the things that some people don't like about Aida, especially like in the 14 count, is that you can really, really visually see the squares. There's like a texture to the fabric. And I think some people don't like that. So when you work on 28 count even weave, which is the even size, you know, the stitches are the same size on a 28 count even weave as a 14 count Aida, they like the even weave better. And I don't 100% disagree with that. You can see the kind of the texture of the fabric, and sometimes I don't think it matters, and sometimes I can see that maybe it makes it a little bit less, I want to say sophisticated looking, but that's not really the, like it looks a little bit more rustic, I guess, when you can see the squares so much. But I'm finding that on like 18 count Aida or like the Hardanger, that's a non-issue. So you have the advantage of the easier to see holes. This is for me, my opinion. You have the advantage of the easier to see holes, and the fabric still looks smooth and clear. The Hardanger actually is not exactly the same weave as an Aida. I think Aida has 4 strands each direction, and the Hardanger has 2. I'm not 100% sure about that, but I know the Hardanger is done slightly differently. And the Hardanger, you still have to be careful of your thread slipping behind the warp and the woof of the weave. So I didn't have any, you know, like problem that lasted, but I did have to be aware of it when I was putting my stitches in. Occasionally they would kind of pull funny because they're slipping behind. So, but I really love the size. So yeah. And there is a difference between the Aida, even a small count Aida, and working on an even weave, because I know working on my Year of Celebrations, which is on a 32 count, so that would be equivalent to like 16, and it's actually maybe even smaller than that when you actually count the stitches. The holes are a lot harder to see. It's not that the holes are harder to see, it's harder to make sure you didn't, like, you know, because you have to skip one in between, and occasionally that's where you get the mistakes, is that you don't skip one and then you're off, or you skip an extra one and you're off. So yeah, so that's the even weave issue. I still really enjoy working on it, and I really like the way all those pieces are coming out, the Year of Celebrations pieces. So I'm not going to ever limit myself and say I'm never going to work on that. But yeah, but I really enjoyed that Hardanger, and I'm enjoying 18 count Aida as well. So, what's this one? I showed you guys that already. Okay. Oh, and then my last thing that I worked on, and I really do want to get this piece done before the end of the year, is my Lion of Judah. I know I haven't shown you guys any pictures, but if this isn't your first time you've seen all these pieces, if it is your first time, you can go back and watch, or I am going to be doing a whip parade either on the like 24th or the 25th, which I know is Christmas Day, so I know a lot of people won't be interested in watching it then, but if you want to watch it the week after, that's great. Anyway, I started with the couching of the trees on this, which is, so I did all of the larger, there's 2 sizes of this green Balger. This is the thicker one that's done in the trunks and the big branches, and then I don't know if you can see there's like little branches in there, so I didn't complete those, but I started. The couching is interesting to work on. It's a little fiddly. It's not difficult by any means, it's just fiddly, and it takes a long time. One thing that, like the pillow that I did for my mom, the pillow like this that's stuffed with walnut shells, has some weight to it, which actually was good. I used my mom's pillow when I was working on this, because when you're couching, you kind of, you need to have 2 hands. So I kind of laid this on the edge of my desk here and used, there was my hoop, and used the pillow to weight down the top so that I could work on it kind of hanging off the edge. So that might be actually something with my Tikkun Olam. I'm going to keep it around my work desk partly because it's pretty and I like it and I want it to be a reminder to try and make the world better and do things to make the world better. But also because it will be actually a tool to use when you're couching or when you need a weight kind of thing. It's kind of like a beanbag pillow. But anyway, so I need to finish the little branches on the trees and then the mane and the tail, and I think that that's about it. And the mane is all couched. It's like it's all done with gold Krynic, thick gold Krynic, and then you couch it. So couching, for those of you not familiar, is you lay your strand on top of the work. So in this case, I had 5 strands or 4 strands, and then you add a strand up here. But 4 strands of a thicker green metallic thread, floss, whatever you want to call it. But it was thick. And then you take a thin, in this case it's green silk, and you make little stitches across to hold it onto the fabric. So the thick floss is only going through the canvas at the very bottom and at the very top of the piece, and the little tiny stitches along the way are what's holding it on there. So on the back, see, it's empty because it's only the little stitches that are going through. So it makes a really nice effect, but it's kind of interesting to do, and it is a little fiddly. Okay, so that was the last whip that I worked on during these 2 weeks. And this one I'm hoping, well, I have 2 weeks to get it done before the end of the year, but I really do want to get that done. Okay. The next thing that I usually talk about, I feel like it's a little dark today, you know, and I think that's just going to be something that with my videos I do use natural light mostly. I try and film in the morning. When I film my extras and demos, of course, it's in the afternoon or evening, and I have to use light. But those are always a darker video anyway. But anyway, because it's winter, the light's different, and that's just how it's going to be. Oh, the other whip, I'm sorry, that I forgot, is I did work a little bit on my diamond painting this week. So I filled in, I'm going to hold it like this because you can't really see the picture anyway. I filled in like, oh, there was a big section here. So I'm working on this little by little. I do want to get it done. And, you know, I've been so focused on stitching that I forgot that I do enjoy diamond painting. I don't want to do it all the time, but, you know, one night a week, you know, or one night every 2 weeks, I enjoyed it. It's going to take a lot longer to get anything done that way. But, yeah, I did enjoy it. So when I found this one, and I decided to go ahead and complete it, and it's getting done little by little. Okay, so haul or stash enhancement, or whatever you choose to call it. I don't have a lot. I'm still trying to be frugal in my purchasing. I have to be frugal in my purchasing. I just don't have the money. But I got some flosses this week. And it's going to come to no surprise to those of you who have been watching me for a while. What I got was a lot of flosses from eBay. That seems to be my preferred method for getting floss, big clumps of floss nowadays. One thing that I like about it is that I just get a big variety, and then it's really hard for me to choose unless I have like a pattern that I'm filling out, you know, that they're telling me what flosses to use. It's hard for me to just go on and say, oh, you know, I'm going to spend, you know, $10 and get 3 or 4 flosses, and then pick the colors. So when I get a lot like this, it's like a surprise, and it's great to enhance my stash. So as you probably know, oops, I dropped one. Hold on. I really like Necessities, which is now Threadworx. So when Needle Necessities comes up on eBay, I'm pretty interested. And when they have it for a good price, then I try and jump on it if I can afford it. This is actually a lot of 50 skeins of Needle Necessities, which 50 skeins is hard to hold. Looks like there are a couple DMCs in that bag. Am I gonna make it? I don't know. There's another handful here. Okay. There we go. That's what I got. And Needle Necessities or Threadworx. These are 20-yard skeins. They sell now for about $4, $4.25, $4.50, depending on where you get them from. And I got this lot of Needle Necessities for about less than $1.50 a yard, or $1.50 a skein. So for that to enhance my stash, I just love it. And I really do love these flosses. I like how they look. I like how they feel. I like the fact that it's 20 yards, so you don't have to worry when you pull a skein for a project that you're going to run out, because usually, a 5-yard skein pretty much does it. This is 20, so but I love the colors. I love the variegations. I love these. So I was really happy to be able to find that on eBay and jumped on it. I used a little bit of my holiday bonus money to, get myself a holiday gift, and that was these flosses. So yeah, I'm pretty excited with these. I tend to, unless it's a Hilde is a different animal. And when I'm doing a like a special pattern, like the Gathering Honey that I'm going to be doing in February, and the Night Walk Down that I'm going to be doing in August for my birthday style. Those I tend to try and kit up as they say. Although I'll be honest with you, I don't want to get into every kind of overdyed floss there is. I have a couple projects kitted up with Gentle Arts, and I have the Needle Necessities or Threadworx. I don't necessarily want to try weeks, and I have a little tiny bit of color and cotton. I don't necessarily want to try them because it gets a little bit overwhelming, and I think that if you're loyal to one or two brands, it's actually just a little bit mentally easier, at least for me. For a couple of these projects that I just mentioned, I have kitted up the Gentle Arts, or I have plans to. And the other colors I've made substitutions. And I tend to go into my stash to kit up most things. I'll look up the color that's called for, and I'll find something similar. And that's just how I've been doing it. And it's working for me. I like it. I like doing that. So it becomes less of a struggle to kit something up, because if I have the pattern already and I'm making fabric, I have a fabric stash that I can pull from. If I want a color, I can dye it myself, and then I can pull floss from my stash. And so it doesn't become a big expense to start a project, because I pretty much have everything here. Now, as I said, if when Night Walks Down, I'm going to get all the Gentle Art, probably, that, because I like Gentle Art already, so I'll get the ones that I don't have for that, although I probably have most of them. For the other brands, I will probably kit up from stash, unless there's something that I just can't find, I can't find anything equivalent, and then I might go ahead and purchase the called for. But yeah, so I'm really happy with this. I just love these. It's really silly, right? To be so excited about skeins of floss. But I just look at them and it's like, what can I make with that? Those are going to be so pretty for, you see one that's like autumn colors and you're like, oh, that's going to look great on a tree. Or you see something like this and it's like, what color, what am I going to do with this? This would actually have been really nice for Winnie the Pooh, but I'm already settled. I'm not going to change that again. Okay, so that brings me to what my plans are for today, for going forward till the end of the year. As I said, I'm going to try and work on finishing my Tikkun Olam pillow today and maybe film that process. And then I also want to finish my In This House wall hanging for my brother. Hopefully I'll get that done today and be able to show you next week before I give it to him for Hanukkah. I think next Sunday is the first night of Hanukkah, so I doubt that I will be, yeah, so I should be able to show it to you guys. And then I have plans for the rest of the year for a couple extra videos. As I said, I'm going to do a whip parade. And with that whip parade in that same video, I'm going to be doing like a FlossTube shout out recap kind of thing. So I'm going to go through and tell you guys all of the FlossTubers that I enjoy watching, that I watch on a regular basis, kind of mixed in with my whip parade. So that's my plans for like the 24th. Then, as you probably know, I'm going to be starting a Hilde at midnight on New Year's Eve. But I thought that leading up to that, I would show a video, basically the whole process of kitting that up. I've showed different parts of it in different videos, but I'm going to show how I pulled my flosses, how I'm storing my flosses or organizing my flosses in order to pull for the Hilde, and then the fabric and how I've got it on the frame and everything, and how I plan to, and then how I organize my pattern with the lines, and because I do diagonal stitching. I'm going to be stitching this Hilde with 10 stitch, which I've never done before, and I'm going to be stitching it on 20 count easy grid. So it's going to be smaller than any of the other Hildes I've done, but I'm going to be doing it in 10 stitch. I'm smaller fabric, much bigger piece. So I thought I'd film a, you know, how I kit it up kind of thing. I know other people have done that, and my floss storage method isn't like groundbreaking or anything, but it's how I do it, and it works really well for me. So I do have a master boxes of DMC that I pull from, but then I kit up the flosses for the Hilde on floss cards, and then when I run out, I'll go back to the master stash. So I'll show you guys that. And yeah, I think that's about it. So every time I turn back to the camera, it looks dark and then it gets lighter, and so I don't know. It's probably, I'm probably, when I turn, it's changing the light, you know. I started in my very first video, you guys. I said I didn't know what I was doing, but I was going to do it anyway. And not much has changed as far as the technology of doing FlossTube. So there you go. That's me. Take it or leave it. I hope you take it. Anyway, I have to tell you guys, you know, I missed doing this so much. Just missing that 1 week. It really, I really missed it. So I'm glad to be back on here. And hopefully a lot of you guys will give me messages, give me a little encouragement, and yeah, and let me know that what I'm doing right. And if I'm doing something wrong, go ahead and let me know kindly. But I can take a little bit of constructive criticism. You know, if it's stuff that you don't like that I can't change, then don't bother, because you know, I can't change my voice. I can't change the way I look. I can't change my apartment or my setup, because this is what I got. But yeah, if there's anything that you would like me to do slightly differently, then let me know. If there's anything that you'd like to see, as I said, somebody did ask me to do this pillow demo, and I'm happy to do it. I'm glad that there's interest in that. So yeah, if there's anything that you're interested in seeing, let me know, and I will put it on my list of videos to do for the future. I'm always looking for ideas, and you know, and it's good to know what what kind of things you guys would like to see, if there's anything specific, so that I can do a video towards that end. But I've rambled on now for about 35 minutes, and I hope you guys are having a great holiday season. Have your shopping done that you need to do, or ideas. I finished everything, and today I think I'm going to put my little bags of gifts together. I have a small family, so I don't have to do that much, but I did get everything that I thought that the kids would like, and so I'm going to put those bags together. My niece, of course, has her birthday on like the 28th, so I have to get 2 gifts for her because, you know, you have your holiday gift and then you have your birthday gift. They can't be the same thing, so it's not fair. So yeah, so I'm excited to put those together today, and yeah, and then get some sewing done. So I hope you guys are all having a great holiday season and a great week, and I will see you next Sunday. Bye. This is Karla. Oh, I can't forget to say my tagline. It's so important, and I didn't write it down. That's why I almost forgot. All right, so until I see you guys next week, always remember to be content, be kind, and be crafty. Thanks, everyone. Bye-bye.